Welcome to Doc Talk here on the medicaltvchannel.com. I'm your host, Michael Ray. It's your opportunity to talk with a doctor. Any questions or concerns you might have, you can send them through us right here on the medicaltvchannel.com website. Two opportunities there on your screen. You can either use the live chat or you can use old school email. Either way, you can pass questions to us and we can go ahead and pass them on to a doctor. Today we're talking to Dr. William P. Adams. He's an associate clinical professor of plastic surgery at UT Southwestern in Dallas. He also has his own private practice in the University Park area. Doctor, thanks for taking some time today. How long have you been doing this? How'd you get to become such a celebrated plastic surgeon?
Well, that's very kind of you, Michael. I actually have been here in Dallas for over 20 years. I did my university training at Prentice University, and then I went to Vanderbilt University for medical school, and then I came to Dallas to do my general surgery and plastic surgery training. And then went into practice in 1997 and was at UT Southwestern Medical Center full-time, and now transitioned to part-time at the university and in my private practice, which is based in University Park.
We want to remind our viewers once again here on medicaltvchannel.com, we want you to be part of the conversation. There on the webpage you can see a chat box over to the left. You can type your question in there, or if you want to do it old school, if you will, you can also do email there on the page. Let's go to the chat box. Doctor, there's an interesting question here, and it's kind of a technical question. What do you think about the transfer of about fat transfer in breast augmentation? What number one, for those of us who don't know, what are they talking about there, and what do you think about it?
So fat transfer is basically taking fat from one area of the body and then placing it into another area, and it's something that we've done in plastic surgery for many years for various different applications, but typically in reconstructive type procedures where there's, say, a soft tissue deficit or a contour irregularity, that you can take fat from one area and inject that into another area. And usually you have about 50% of that fat that will survive long term. So it's a technique that we've used successfully for many years. Now, the story gets a little bit more controversial when you start talking about injecting fat into the breast, and we'll talk more in terms of cosmetic breast surgery right now, but for, say, breast augmentation, it's much less proven right now what the actual, number one, efficacy or success of injecting fat in the breast, and then probably more importantly for the patient, what the actual safety of injecting fat into the breast is. And so it's really an evolving area. I chair the Hot Topics forum for our societies, and every year we have some presentations on that. And right now, it's really what I would just term an evolving subject. So it's not something that I certainly would recommend to any patients until we have more scientific data to say that this is a viable option for a breast augmentation patient, and it's something that's safe and is not going to cause interference with the detection of a breast cancer or have other issues. But I think in the next 3 to 5 years, we'll have more and more scientific data, and we'll be able to advise patients accordingly regarding that particular modality of treatment.
I want to circle back to that in just a moment. I like the fact that you're talking about hot topics. We'll get to that, but right now we do have the viewer questions here via the chat box. Here's another one, and it's about what we talked about earlier in the program, 24-hour recovery from breast augmentation. Is this common? Do all plastic surgeons do this? Is this something that you've kind of led the way on? Where are we in medical science right now with this? Is it more common than not, or is it something you've, as I said, led the way on?
Well, I think that I certainly have been a proponent of that. There are, I would say, it's an evolving technique. I would say there's not that many plastic surgeons around the world that actually practice what we term the process of breast augmentation, or what needs to be done in order for patients to have a 24-hour recovery or a fast-track recovery. But it is something that multiple surgeons around the world have done and had patients to have been able to realize that type of recovery. But I think it is an important indicator of the actual quality of the procedure that's being delivered. So I think that it is an important recovery is no doubt a good indicator of that. And so for the surgeons around the country and around the world that are practicing the techniques that allow patients to recover like that, I think it also translates into other things that we know that patients benefit from, things like less reoperations, less complications, and again, a better overall experience with the procedure.
Dr. Adams, you've been great with your time. I know you're busy. I appreciate the visit here with us today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Michael. Great to be with you.
And for those watching on medicaltvchannel.com, if we didn't get to your questions via the chat room or the email, just notice at the bottom of that page there's a section where you can contact the doctor. You can contact Dr. William P. Adams directly if you have further questions, concerns, and whatnot. Send them there, and he'll answer you via email, and perhaps we can move you on down the line. Thanks again for watching medicaltvchannel.com. I'm Michael Ray.